how to cope with burnout at work, and some tips and strategies on how you can cope with yours. That's what we're going to be talking about today in this live. Grab a friend and let's go. We're waiting on a few people to come on. Hi, Angel Eyes. We are live on Instagram, Facebook, as well as on YouTube. Take this time and just share the link with someone in their DMs. Send it over on WhatsApp. Email it to somebody. I don't know if you'll have time to email, but go ahead and share. Hi. Let's see if we can get a better view for Instagram. All right, so in about 30 seconds, we're gonna get started. Make sure you're sharing. All right, so awesome. So happy to have you, happy to have everyone on here who is joining us on all of social media platforms. So we're live on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube as well. And what I wanted to share with you was a continuation of the conversation that I started today when I was being interviewed on Television Jamaica, right here in Kingston, Jamaica. And it's something that has been very near and dear to my heart for many, many years. And I didn't realize that it was affecting me even before, until recent. Like, I was looking back through my life and realized all the different circumstances and situations that brought me to this point. And I realized, shucks, I've gone through burnout more than once in my lifetime, more than once in career. And so I'm going to share a little bit of that with you. Actually, the first one that I can remember back in the day, and then share with you how I was able to cope with that one. I actually have my second burnout story is the most recent one. And it's the one that took me out of the world as an employee and pushed me into the realm of entrepreneurship. So the very first time I experienced burnout, I was in my early 20s. I'm 37 right now, y'all. I know, I'm old. I'm getting up in age. But I was in my early 20s, and that was my very first job, I remember, after I got married. So I was a young girl, just got married, fresh in this thing. We moved to a completely new city. This was the first time I was moved to town. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how, people say when you're in the city, it's easier to find jobs. So I just came here trying to navigate finding a job. And I remember the first set of resumes I sent out. This was me, by the way. I wouldn't say underqualified, but I did not have a college degree. The only certification I had was my high school certification. So if you're in the Caribbean, I had CXCs. This is equivalent to CSEC right now. That's all I had to my name. I had a few college credits because at that time I had already dropped out of college. So I wasn't really ready for the working world. I wasn't expecting to go in and get any high-paying job because I knew I was not qualified for it. And so the very first set of resumes I sent out, I got called for this job. I had no idea what I was going there for. They just advertised customer service rep. I didn't know the company. I went, I interviewed, I got through, and I was hired. No, just imagine, I'm elated. I'm moving to a brand new city, looking job hunting for the very first time, 0 degree. All I had behind my name was high school certificate. Excited to even get an actual job. And so I felt good. And so I was happy for the first couple of weeks until I realized how toxic the work environment was. No, this was an HR organization. If you're in Kingston at all and you don't know this company, I don't know which rock you've been hiding under, but this is like the HR department of a lot of large corporations across Jamaica. And so they outsourced their HR. That was what I did. So I'm in HR. I end up interviewing people for jobs every day, every single day. I'm writing contracts for people, job contracts, getting contracts signed off, helping to manage all the reps that are on the road, and all sorts of things are happening. And it quickly got to me because as the HR department, we also manage the accounting. I wasn't in accounting. I hate math, just FYI. And as a part of that, it means that every Friday there was a payday. And all of our staff that we manage all across the island need to get paid Friday morning. They need to walk into the ATM and the money was there. So that's everybody in my office. And my office at the time, I think we had 11 staff. That's all, 11 staff. That was the HR department for some really huge corporate companies across Jamaica. And it means that every Thursday we had to work overtime to ensure that the payroll went out on a Friday. And the overtime was unpaid time. There was nowhere in the contract that said you're going to get paid for this, but you just know that you had to stay back because payroll has to be finished. If you leave and payroll doesn't get done, it's your fault, and you're in trouble with management. Now this is like 3-4 hours overtime every single Thursday without pay, and it was just like one of those unstated requirements that you had to stay back. Can you imagine? You had to stay back. So that was me and my colleagues every Thursday. We're going home some deep hours in the night, and on top of that, so we're working 3-4 hours unpaid overtime every single Thursday. On top of that, the environment was ridiculously toxic. You could not talk to the supervisor, not the supervisors, more like the managers. They would talk down to every office staff as if we were nobody. Literally, we were nobody. So there was this level of fear of even going to our supervisors whenever we felt uncomfortable anyway. On a Thursday, if someone had a valid reason for being able to, for not staying back, it was like trepidation to go to your supervisor and say, I can't stay back. You want to hear why. And the why come with that attitude. And then you're because this and you're explaining and they have to think about it. And remember, this is unpaid overtime. But you're still going through the red tape. We're still going through the bureaucracy. And on top of that, we have to ensure that all of our additional duties were met. So it was a real toxic environment. You couldn't communicate with management. There's a department right across from us, and it was as if we were enemies. Like different departments we weren't friends at all. Like nobody really talked to each other in a human kind of way. It was more, you are in that department, stay with those people over there. We're in this department, we are gonna stay with these people over here, and that was it. It was not very anything. And whenever anybody was trying to sell in any area, it's not something you talked about. Like nobody praised you for anything. You basically celebrate your own wins under the quiet. Or you may have a 1 friend or 2 friend in the office that you tell, and you celebrate together, and that was it. But it was not a very welcoming work environment. On top of that, the pay wasn't all that great. Most of the people in the office were getting minimum wage or a little bit above minimum wage. And I can share with you another time how I was able to my pay to supervisor level. Oh, that's another story in and of itself. But all of that combined, it was a job that you really want to. So I remember at one point I was like, ill for a very long time. There was a thing going around. I think it may have been one of those mosquito diseases, and I caught it. Mosquito-related diseases, and I caught it maybe a week and a half. And I remember having to take work home with me with my sick self. I am weak, vomiting, everything. And the office is calling me because I have such and such manager at such and such that I need to follow up with. And I was home in bed doing reports that are due at the end of the week, at the end of the month, because they expected it of me, even though I was on sick leave. You hear me? Even though I was on sick leave, people were still emailing me work. And I was required to do them. Otherwise, pretty much you don't have a job. So you're being paid to do one thing, and then they're demanding 50% more out of you unpaid. That was the kind of work environment that I was in. And there are a couple things why I didn't just up and leave. Because let me tell you something. People left that job, left, right, center, top, bottom. People were either resigning or people just get fired for random reasons. Very random reasons. And I quickly realized what was happening. And as much as I hated that job, I had a goal in mind. And this is where I really want you to pay attention. You need to have a goal in mind. Because I knew that HR was not for me. I knew since I was 9 years old that I wanted to be a teacher. So HR, that job in HR for me was just simply a means to an end. So even from day one when I was hired, I wasn't going to stay. In my head, my goal was always that one day I'm eventually going to do this job. So my question to you is, the job that you're in right now, I'm feeling so burnt out, and maybe some of the experiences that I shared, you are experiencing similar things. Think about all of that and put it into perspective. Is this a job that you want to be in for the rest of your life? Because it could be that you're just in the wrong department and you just need a transfer to somewhere else and you'd be much happier. You might be in accounting and you really want to be in sales. You might be in HR and you really want to be in accounting. Who knows? Right? And if you find yourself in accounting where you really want to be, you'd be much happier, you'd be more confident, and you'd be more fulfilled with however you're contributing to the workplace, right? So if that's you, then you need to decide how you're going to navigate that, how you're going to manage move from, let's say, sales to HR. And as I shared this morning in the interview, that you need to create a plan, PLAN. A lot of us just go through life winging it. You can't go through life winging it and expect to win. You can't wing. You cannot wing and expect to win. Can't do it. So if you're in sales and you want HR, you have to create a plan as to how you're going to get you out of sales and get over into HR where you can thrive in the HR department, right? But for me, I was in HR. I knew I need to be in education, completely different. And so I had that in the back of my mind that one day I'm eventually going to leave this place. But I wasn't ready yet. As much as it was rough, I wasn't ready. Because if I left that job, I would have nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. In my mind, in my pocket, that job was a income generating machine for me to invest in education. Remember, at this point, I had no college degree. I had already dropped out of my first attempt at college. So I needed money to go back to college again. So I was using the very little money that we had, right? We were pinching it and saving every single month. And this money was going into an investment, and it was going towards our dream. And I said, or I'm talking about myself and my husband. We were freshly married, freshly married and very highly poor. Imagine being poor, newlywed in a brand new city, very little education, and making it through life. That was us. That was us. At least my husband had his degree and had an entry-level degree job. Still was struggling, right? And so every single month, from whatever he made, whatever little I made, we would pinch something off of it and put it towards our dream. That was our dream income. That was the dream money. And that dream helped to put me through college. And 8+ years it took to be able to afford our first home as well. So that job was one of the investors into my dream. No, so I knew I wasn't gonna stay in that job forever. So that's one. Two, when do you plan to leave? If you do leave, you have to decide when. And my when was when I was comfortable enough that I could afford to go to college without depending on this job. No, that came a lot sooner than I expected, to be honest, because what happened eventually was that I had enrolled in college. I went first year of college on credit union loan, ready again for another credit union loan, and they decided that they would not give me time off. And it was then I decided if I made it through year one, I'm pretty sure I can make it through year two. And my husband and I we sat down and we talked and said, you know what, this is it. I'm not gonna let this job stress me out anymore. Handed in my resignation. And that was my. So if you decide that you're gonna leave this job that is stressing you out, that is causing you to burn out, you have to know exactly when or under what circumstances you are going to make your exit. And you're going to have to start planning for those circumstances from now. You can't expect it just going through the motions and 2 years time you say, okay, I'm ready to quit now, but there's nothing in place that is going to support. You have to have that support. And for the 3+ years, it was 3.5 years that I was working there, I already knew from day one that I needed to start saving. So we were already saving from day one and putting in that nest egg to make sure when my exit date came, I was ready for it. So eventually, when that day came, I think it was 2011, 2012, somewhere there, that I left that job. We were ready. We were already gone through a year of college and credit union loans. We still had a little bit of savings put down. I was like, you know what? We can do this. We can do this. I do not have to be, what's the word? Abused. What's the word? By this job and by this employer anymore. I'm ready. Decide whether you're gonna leave or you're gonna stay. And then if you do decide you're going to leave, under what circumstances, under what conditions, and by what date are you going to make your exit? The last thing I want to share with you, before I do that, please remember the link is in the description wherever you're watching. If you're on Instagram, it's right there, pinned on the chat, to register for P3 Summit, because I'm going to dive a lot deeper into the burnout strategies in my talk at this event. So P3 Summit is all about pursuing purpose and profit. So I've gathered a whole bunch of speakers from all across the world. Yes, I said all across the world, who are going to be sharing with you their best strategies on how to navigate purpose, how to discover your purpose, how to profit from your passion. Right now, my passion is teaching, and that is how I earn a living. I do not earn a living in the classroom. I'm no longer a teacher, but I'm still a teacher by nature. That is my title, that is my calling, and that is how I earn a living, right? So how you can take your passions. So for example, my passion is teaching, and I teach over the internet, and people pay me over the internet to teach them things. Simple. So how can you profit, earn an income, earn a living from using your passions in multiple ways? How can you discover purpose if you're in that job that is stressing you out and burning you out, and you know that this is really not the purpose for your life? What then is the purpose for your life? How can you discover that? Those are some of the things that we're going to be diving into at the summit at the end of November. So I'm going to give you a minute before I give you the last strategy. Like literally right now, go to p3summit.net and just register. I'm giving you 60 seconds to go and come back, and then I'm going to give you the final point about how I was able to cope with burnout in my very, very first experience. 60 seconds, guys. I'm waiting. I'm serious. So go now. You think I'm not serious? Please go and register. You have about 45 seconds left. Goodness. Go and register for people. Y'all, the speakers are ready, the presentations are being prepped, everything is in place, and I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you to miss it. Thank you so much for that, Marsha. Marsha is seeing everything in the chat. P3 Summit.net. 30 more seconds. Kamla, go and register. Which waiting. No, let me tell you something, guys. This is serious. I have been talking to the presenters, right? So I've been talking to them, and I have just been amazed by the quality of the content that is being shared. Like, even one presentation I had this morning, I swear you don't have to pay for that. I kid you not. You'd have to pay for the kind of information I pulled out of one of the speakers today, and you're getting it for free. Please, please, please go and register for the summit. All right, 15 seconds, and we're going to jump right back into it. All right, Kamla has some, yes. And please don't share it to yourself when you register. Send it to someone else so that they can register too. If you think this is going to benefit you, I am sure you can find at least one more person to share it with. All right. So we have a few people who came back to actually saying that they are signing up. All right, so it's P3Summit.net. Type it in the chat. Somebody on Facebook now. P3Summit.net. Here you go. All right, so if you click on that link, you should be able. The whole of St. Hilda's knows about it. What is going on? St. Hilda's High School unlock. I love it. Oh my goodness, that's fabulous. Thank you so much, Kamla. That's my alma mater, by the way. So if you went to the Purple School on the hill, say hi. Oh my God. It's Purple Power. Yes, Purple Power. All right, so P3 Summit.net. P3 Summit.net. Awesome. All of my St. Hilda's fans in the house. All right, so let's continue. What just happened to Instagram? Okay, we're back. The third thing I want, and I think this is probably one of the things that I had to learn as I did it. You know what I mean? Let me explain to you what I mean. So far, we've talked about have a goal in mind. First of all, you decide whether or not you're going to stay in the job or you're going to leave in the job. And if you stay in the job, then there are strategies that you can use to actually get into the department that you want to, or the actual position that you really, really actually want, and the position that you know you want to thrive. Hi, Ruel. Welcome. And then you're going to leave. You have to decide two things: the exact date you want to leave this job, and or the circumstances under which you're going to make your exit. Now, while you're there, you still have to find a way to cope, because you haven't exited as yet. You probably have not even saved enough to support you while you're transitioning to your new field in life. So while you're there, while you're still in job, how are you going to cope? What exactly are you going to do? Now, this is one of the things I had to do. And let me tell you something. As somebody who grew up ridiculously shy, this was hard for me, but I realized that it was necessary. I had to demand respect from my superiors. Let me say it again. I had to demand respect from my superiors. Now, I understand that fear is a big part of burnout, because a lot of times You fear going to your supervisor. You fear going to your manager. You fear going to whoever is over you to tell them exactly how you feel because you don't want to lose the work. Am I right or am I right? So you fear doing that. You fear approaching anybody at all. You take your local friend, you tell your workplace, but you don't want to lose your job. And so you keep it to yourself and you keep it from your supervisor, you keep it from your manager. And that's one of the things that is causing your demise. It's making your burnout even worse. Now, I understand the fear that is involved in telling your supervisor that, but you understand that there are laws that protect you as an employee. So if you fear that you might lose your job, look at the laws that will protect you. So if you go to your boss and you say, you know what, I'm not working on a Thursday anymore unpaid overtime because XYZ, and you know the law on your side, then they can fire you, but then you can sue them. And it's going to be worse because they will lose the suit. You don't even have to sue them, depending on your jurisdiction, because here in Jamaica, all you need to do is file a complaint to I don't remember the name of the office right now. But you see, because I was in HR, I knew all of those things. I knew exactly who to call at the office to let them know what was going on. So I had the law on my side. So you can say to your superior, whatever it is that is bothering you, make sure you are aware of the law that is going to back you in case they want to threaten you. That's number one. Number two, demand the respect of your superiors mean you're gonna have to show up strong. Now, a lot of us, especially if we're in entry-level positions, we kind of small ourselves. And I know because I've done it. We small up ourselves because we think our voice does not matter. It does matter. One of the things I made sure that even though I was working in a job that I hated, I was doing unpaid overtime, I was still showing up in excellence. And so when I had the courage to step into the boss's office, they had nothing against my name. And that was how I was able to get my raise of pay, by the way. I just put my foot down and decided I'm not going to work any more extra hours without pay. And I wrote a letter to my superiors. I sent it to my supervisor because even then my supervisor was scared. Supervisor, they treated her like she was regular line staff. And she was afraid. She was going through the same thing I was going through. She was pretty much afraid of approaching anybody about it. So I wrote the letter and I sent it to her. I said, listen, read this. I'm about to hit send to our boss. Is there any critical errors you want to fix for me? Is there anything you need to add to this letter? And she looked at it and was like, It's like, It's as if she was saying, you are about to get fired. It didn't matter to me because I knew my rights. I knew I worked well. And so even if I hit send to this girl until about it, they didn't have any reason to want to get rid of me. And so when I eventually hit send, a meeting was called no less than 24 hours after. My pay was increased to my supervisor's level. And because my supervisor and I could not be getting the same pay, she also got a pay bump. So she got a pay bump because of my actions. And when I went back into the office, I was a superstar. Because by then, everybody had heard about this girl who wrote a letter to the manager and got a pay increase in less than 24 hours. I was a superstar. And so I demanded a lot of respect, not just from the people in my office, but the people from other departments who was like, we don't talk to each other. Right? You have to find your strength and use it. And like I said, if you have the backing of the law behind you, they cannot fire you. These are things a lot of people need to research as employees, because sometimes we fear things unnecessarily simply because we do not know the law. So I'm going to advise you right now, if you're experiencing burnout and you see yourself in that job for another 2, 3, 4 years, go find out what the laws are around hiring and firing, and see how you can use that to your advantage. I can tell you there are so many times that those individuals wanted to get rid of me because I refused to do certain things. But I did not leave until I wanted to leave. I handed them my 2 weeks notice. I'll see you for the next 2 weeks. After this, we're gone. Toodles. Bye-bye. So you have to have that level of respect. How you're going to do it is completely dependent on your situation, the exact situation that you're in, but it is completely doable. Those of you who are ridiculously shy, like I was, you can use that as one of those experiences to take you out of your shell. Because let me tell you, it wasn't an easy letter to write. I can tell you the kind of confidence that I have today. I didn't. Not even, I don't think I had 2% of the confidence I have today. But it was something that was necessary in order for me to be able to maintain my sanity. All right? So, did you learn anything from the last 30 minutes? Drop some hearts, some likes, and let me know you learned anything from the last 30 minutes that we were here. And just a reminder for you, if you have any questions, drop them in right now. A reminder that P3 Summit is on November 29 and 30. I want you to go and register. It's completely free. You can upgrade your pass if you wish, but access to the summit itself is free. We have over 10 speakers from 5 countries and counting right now across the world. We have different topics. We have tracks. One is all about passion, another is all about discovering your purpose, and we are also looking at how you can monetize your passions, how you can make wise financial and investment choices so you can just build wealth and be happy and at peace. Those are my 2 critical words for the rest of my life: happiness and peace. And yes, money does give you that to some extent. So that's where we're all about in this summit. Make sure you go and register P3Summit.net. The link for that is everywhere. It's pinned in the chat, it's in the description. If you go to my profile, you can click the link in my bio, and it's all also there for you to register. And many questions popping up, y'all. You guys were chatting away as I was going through. If you have any questions, drop them in now. Hi, everybody over here on Facebook and YouTube. Yes. All right, so no questions. All right, so that's it then for tonight. Thank you all for jumping in. Hi, Roadrunner. Hello. Oh my gosh. How can I forget her name? It's coming back to Zoe. Hi, Zoe's mommy. Oh my goodness. Hi. Marvia Sewell, Kamala, and the whole Tilda's crew. Everybody. All right, guys, we're gonna be checking out for tonight. Just keep your eyes peeled on my timeline. We're gonna be having just a wonderful time, especially leading up to the summit. We have some giveaways. Hi, hello, mother. Mommy is always on my lives, you know. When your mother support everything that you do. Oh my goodness. So we're gonna be having a whole bunch of giveaways and so on throughout the month of November. You have to be inside of the P3 Summit main stage in order to get access to those. So if you are registered for this summit, check your email and join us at the main stage. I know I see a bunch of you registered, but you're not yet in the main stage. You have to be on the main stage. That's where this is going to be happening. And if you have not yet registered, please go to p3summit.net and do so right now. All right. Have a wonderful night, everyone. I'll see you online another time. God bless. Toodles.